in. It's getting warm in here as I open the window. And where is everyone from? This is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package update, but focusing on state stimulus, free rent, free utilities, and free food across the board. What's important to understand is that $600 may have landed in your bank account now, but ultimately, your need to get stimulus from states is really front and center. Over the next few days and weeks, I'll be showing you the second stimulus landing in accounts or landing in programs that you can go get it. Moolah Mondays this Monday, Twisty Tuesday falls, and Way Out Wednesday, as a lot of great programs from the second stimulus package go live. But I don't want you to wait around for that money because the money may be delayed. In this video, Purple Power Live, which is a sister show to Purple Taped early on Afternoons LA, I explain how you get this free rent money, free utilities, and free food across the board from states. It's $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 you can get right now. It's important you get the money if you're on SSI, SSDI. You can get the money if you're not behind on rent. You get the money if the rent, the monthly rent is high, like $850 or more per month. You can get the rent in a lot of different circumstances. And the important thing to understand is you can get this money for rent in a way that's much more inclusive than what's going to happen in second stimulus. Eventually, when the money from second stimulus lands in the states, it's only going to be available for rent for people who made about $49,000 or less 2019 earnings. But the rent that I go over in this video is much more inclusive. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the states that are paying, how you're going to get that money, then utilities and food, but I want to go over more of your questions tonight than I've been doing in recent nights. So I'll be able to answer your questions across the board. And I also have my pen on set, so if you had a success story, I want to hear it as well. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. There's so many great videos on this channel. This is now a 24-hour news channel, so I don't want you to miss a video when I go live. Also like this video. And with that, let's get to the details. Let me give you some of the states and where people are getting rent from right off the bat. If you hear your state, make a note and write it down. In Texas, viewers are getting rent paid from St. Mary Magdalene. In Kentucky, they're getting rent paid from Community Ministries. In New Jersey, from United Way. In Ohio, from Community Action. In California, from all Community Action as well. In Massachusetts, from Interfaith Social Services. In Phoenix, from TCDC. In Alabama, from 2-in-1. In Texas and California, from Catholic Charities. They're doing an incredible, great job, Catholic Charities. Over in Georgia, they're getting rent paid from United Way. Arizona, from New Leaf. Michigan, from Salvation Army. Nebraska, United Way. New York, One Shot. Pennsylvania, United Way. Kentucky, Community Action for Utilities. Las Vegas, Clark County Services. Indiana, from Indiana for Rent. Indiana from 2-in-1, and also Indiana Housing. I butchered that. IndianaHousingNow.org. In Mississippi, from 4 different groups: Mercy House, Home Saver, Salvation Army, and MSHDA Eviction Diversion. In Rhode Island, from 2 groups: Rhode Island Housing Authority and Crossroads. In Delaware, from 2-in-1, Texas 2-in-1, El Paso from Project Bravo. And mortgage assistance is coming in from 877 Get Hope for United Way. Then organizations that are paying rent across the country in many different jurisdictions include St. Vincent de Paul, Community Action, United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities. Really exciting, great news. Then the cities and states and counties that have rent programs now in place from the first stimulus package, not for the second one, but for the first, are the entire state of New York, Harrisburg, PA, Nashville, Tennessee, City of Atlanta, County of DeKalb, and County of Gwinnett as well. This is really incredible, great news because people really need to get this money. And there you go. And I want to give more time tonight for you and your questions. Thank you, Miss Ashley, for the nice super chat. And if you're just joining me, there'll be an update at the 15-minute mark and another update at the 30-minute mark. Most of this rent money is generally 3 months, 6 months, or more. And most viewers get about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That's the most common number. For utilities, they're generally getting about anywhere from a few hundred to a couple thousand, generally under about $5,000. And this is all incredible, great news. So with that, let me answer some of your questions right now. Any assistance for my dog? I don't know. The volunteers may be able to assist you. The volunteers are at news.llate.com/community. But that's a new one. Any assistance for my dog? Only rent or mortgage as well. What about Texas? That is Ricky in the Instagram room. Texas, you want to reach out to Catholic Charities, and they're helping for rent, but some also help for mortgage. New York, they have rent assistance across the entire state of New York now. Louisiana, State Housing Authority. Utah, I haven't had a question about Utah before. Um, I would presume you want to start your state, then go to your county, then your city, but also reach out to some of the nonprofits as well. New Mexico. New Mexico's had a lot of rent stimulus programs. I don't know if they're still live. That's for the Instagram room for Tina. I would check with your state and your county first. I know the cities in New Mexico, some of the cities are very small, so you may not be in a big city. So look at your state housing authority and county housing authority. If not, then the nonprofits. California, for Dorina in the Instagram room. Uh, Catholic Charities is paying rent in a lot of places, and so is Community Action. But you'll be surprised in California. Some counties suddenly do have rent, like San Bernardino County has rent from the Housing Authority in rent. Let me cut back to the YouTube room. Louisiana State Housing Authority is temporarily closed. Oh, wow. Um, we need a blue Senate. There you go. I'm answering questions early. You're just joining me on this video. I'm answering questions earlier on in tonight's video because there have been so many questions lately and I haven't been able to get to them. Going over state utility and rent and across the board. Oregon, yes. Oregon has been doing great stuff for rent stimulus. So you want to certainly consider your state housing authority, county housing authority. And if those don't work, then the nonprofits, and then if those don't work, then the volunteers. SPAC in Pennsylvania, helping animals with food. Well, thank you. There we go. So if you were just said SPAC is helping for animals with food, that's really good news. Um, Yes, for dogs. Food pantries in Nashville are giving pet food. Well, thank you. We got a very helpful group here tonight. So in Nashville, some of the pantries, the food banks are helping for animals as well. What a really helpful room we got here so far. Missouri, 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 says Donna 3 times. Missouri, Missouri, Missouri. In St. Louis County, rent. Across the rest of Missouri, utilities, but not rent for the government, but you can also reach out to the nonprofits as well. Do you know? Oh, that was where's Sir Lloyd? Is Virginia giving out stimulus checks? So no announcements yet about state stimulus checks. In the last few days. Now, I certainly want you to get rent and utilities. I want you to get rent and utilities. My cat needs teeth. Need help with a pet bill, with a vet bill. That's an interesting one. I don't know that question about that. I have no idea that maybe the volunteers know that. Any help with getting back to work? Oh, that is wonderful. Boy, I don't know about that specifically. I know Home Depot and Lowe's hires all over the place. So that's definitely one of the great places to work. But if you can't find anything, I would absolutely reach out to the volunteers. Is Hawaii doing any help? Hawaii is doing help. Hawaii's had a lot of money. Hawaii's had a lot of money to for rent and a lot of programs. So yes, Hawaii also had Hawaii also had debit cards for free food at restaurants. People incarcerated getting second stimulus check? Yes. Is Maine still doing stimulus? I think the Maine one has already been sent out by now. The $600 for the stimulus. I think that's already been sent out by now. How do people in prison actually get the stimulus check? Oh boy, I have no idea. I assume by mail. I assume paper check, but I don't know. How long for the paper checks? You mean for the second stimulus check or for the state stimulus check? I don't know about the how long for the state stimulus check. But for the paper check, no one has gotten their paper check yet. Any rent help in Tennessee? Yes. Viewers have gotten rent in Tennessee. And I saw your town is a small, and another person in Tennessee, two people in Tennessee. You know, I know Tennessee has some smaller towns. You certainly want to look at your county level first. But if there's nothing available from your county, then you want to look to United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, St. Vincent de Paul, and Catholic Charities, and that's where it may likely land. But for Tennessee, you may want to look at your bigger counties. Of course, I detail Nashville all the time. They do have a rent program. Um, Salvation Army in Michigan says no help will change this. They've been trying others for rent. Oh, thank you for the update. LA, what if you don't get your stimulus check? No way to fix it just yet, and maybe a couple months. For Charles, how do you track your stimulus check? IRS will open a tracking website, but it was not open as of yesterday. New Mexico said they ran out of rent money. So for Cruz Delgado, so that's a great question, Cruz. And I want to use Cruz as example. So Cruz said the state of New Mexico ran out of money. So this is sort of how you approach the situation. There's states that have money, then the counties have money, and then the cities have money, and then the nonprofits have money. So if you know that the state housing authority in New Mexico has no more money now at the moment, then you want to look at the county where you are. I don't know what county you're in, for example, just Johns County. And then if the county has nothing, and county housing authority as well, then if the county has nothing, then you want to look at the city. And finally, if the city has nothing, then you want to look at the nonprofits. You have basically a four-step process: state, county, city, nonprofits. San Diego, you want to look at the nonprofits because they had rent for the county about up to a week ago, and now it's closed, maybe 2 weeks ago. Pennsylvania, yes, viewers have gotten big rent in Pennsylvania. Um, oh, someone said something about the prisons, so let's see. LA, let them know that in jail they can get it through their commissary, and when they're released, they get the rest as a check, says Sandra. So that's for the prison. Let them know in jail they get it through their commissary, and then when they're released, they get the rest as a check. Well, there you go. So don't spend all your stimulus check on cigarettes at the commissary. Lord. Uh, Oklahoma. Yes, viewers have gotten rent in Oklahoma. Is my state? I've seen a lot of questions asking for state stimulus checks. Um, I've not received my kid's check or payee for my child. Give it some time. Can I get the $600 per week if I'm on FPUC? If my FPUC and UI are expired. Um, oh, that's a great question. Yeah, that I've not got to that question. That's a great question. So basically, you ran out of weeks. They're going to put you back onto weeks. So then, would you get the FPC retro? Of course, yes, you'll get the FPC retro. Thank you, Cruz Delgado. So the FPC, you're going to go from inactive to active eventually, and at that point, then you'll get the FPC on top of that. If you were evicted, is there any help with rental assistance if you're homeless? Yes, there is help for rent assistance for homeless people. Absolutely, the volunteers are very, very good with that. They know that better than I do. Any assistance for car repairs? No. Now you can get assistance for other stuff, and if and float that over to cars, but no, there's no assistance for rent for cars. What about mortgage assistance? Yes, I mentioned that one earlier in the video. That is 877 Get Hope, which is a division of United Way. But a lot of the volunteers tell me that some of the organizations also do mortgage assistance. So some of the nonprofits do mortgage assistance as well. What about credit card help? No. how do you connect with a volunteer in Georgia? So that's a great question. So the volunteers are not separated by states. You can reach out to any volunteer and they cover all the different states. So you want to go to the pinned comment to this video and open it up. At the bottom, it says community page, news.lalate.com/community. News.lalate.com/community. And now at the 15-minute mark, let me give you a big update across the board where we are tonight. Good evening. This is Purple Power Live, in which we go over your state stimulus, free rent, free utilities, and free food across the board. What's important to understand is that the second stimulus package, which became law a week ago tomorrow, provides an enormous amount of money to be routed to states, cities, and counties to be paid to you for rent. But I don't want you to wait for it. Why? First, its eligibility is a little bit more constricted, is a little bit more strict than I cover in this video. Generally, the rent programs under the second stimulus package will be limited to low-income families. That's families where the individual made about $49,000 or less per year. Second, the routing times to get this money to the states to disperse to the cities and counties, and then you to actually get it, maybe about a month from now. And so I don't want you to wait around for money for a month from now. I want you to get money right now. In these recordings, Purple on Afternoons LA and Purple Power Live, I show you how to get this rent money right now. It's important to grab it because it's thousands of dollars. Ultimately, there's always someone that says, can I just have another stimulus check? And ultimately, there's not always another stimulus check. The rent that people get are generally 3, 6, and 12 months of rent, $4, $5, $6, $7,000 in some cases. They also get utilities. The key words are rent assistance, utility assistance. You start your state, then go to county, and then go to your city. And then if those don't work, then you go to your nonprofits. And if you have problems, you can reach out to the volunteers. The volunteers and I saw an enormous drop off in the last 7 days when the stimulus check went out. And that's disconcerting because what I'm reporting is that your UI, PUA, and FPUC may get delayed in a lot of states, and you don't want to be in a financial bind in the next few days. Eviction protection. Yes, Betty, great question. The volunteers can also help you find if your state is the one that has an eviction moratorium in addition to the CDC eviction moratorium. Is it true that California is receiving FPUC tomorrow? Not receiving it, but is sending it out tomorrow. Yes, it is true. FPUC is being dispersed starting tomorrow in California. That doesn't mean you're going to get it tomorrow. I don't know when you'll actually physically get it, but they're starting to pay it starting tomorrow. So that means you'll basically show the payment posting somewhere in your portal, but that doesn't mean you're actually getting the money. What about utilities for California? Catholic Charities. What about rent in North Texas? Catholic Charities as well. They do well in there. Where was Boston on the unemployment scale? I would assume it's pretty good. I would assume it's pretty good. Massachusetts, I would assume it's pretty good. How do I get a copy of the eviction moratorium, Marcia? That's on the CDC website. The CDC website is, you go right there, CDC, and they'll list on there the eviction moratorium. You want to print it out, give it to the landlord, follow all the instructions, and take it from there. And remember, when you go to the community page to reach out to the volunteers, they're separated from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You reach out to them. It's important that you reach out to the volunteers, not expect them to reach out to you. In the universe of where stimulus checks are being sent out, and there's bad people left and right, you don't want to respond to someone unsolicited. Those unsolicited comments are generally made by people trying to sell you a Bitcoin scheme or try to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't reach out to those, don't respond to those people asking you to WhatsApp them or do a Bitcoin scheme or text message them. You reach out to the volunteers by sending them a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. How does the CARES Act have funding to help with rent assistance? Great question. So the CARES Act created a $150 billion program, CARES Act 1, to be provided to states for rent. States then gave it to the cities and counties. And some of those cities and counties still have the money. Some of the states still have the money. And so the programs you see live now in some places like Miami-Dade and Broward, West Palm Beach and Broward and Orange, Florida and City Atlanta and Gwinnett and DeKalb, Harrisburg, PA, Nashville. That's all because they got money from CARES Act 1. That's not second stimulus. When second stimulus comes out, all these states will have a big another round of massive amount of money. Where do I find the volunteers? So you open up the pinned comment to this video from Lalate, open it up, and the last line says community page, news.lalate.com/community. Do you think I still need to file a 1040 for my missing stimulus check? You're going to start, well, it's too early to presume the stimulus check is missing. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the ability to fix the situation of not receiving the $600 stimulus check has not been yet explained by IRS. This is sort of the donut guy situation. There's going to be people who are not going to get a stimulus check because there's something that they don't have set up right. And this is going to take a little bit of time. So stay patient. What's the reasoning behind not including adult dependents? Can't say is the screen name. Absolutely no reason. It's a great question. Great question. There's absolutely no reason. It makes absolutely no sense. Dang, I just got here. What did I miss? We're going over state utilities and food and questions that people have. I still think we need a $2,000 retroactive to back to the beginning of the pandemic. Amen. Stimulus on Emerald cards. I don't know anything about that. I do see that question a couple times. I don't know anything about that. The $200 a month for SSI and SSDI, that's third stimulus check and third stimulus package. And I haven't asked anyone tonight, so let's do it tonight. Where's everyone from? I haven't asked anyone, where's everyone from tonight? Let's see where everyone is tuning in from. Because we got right to the meat and potatoes and we didn't do the early hellos. Colorado, Texas, Ohio, Beloit, Alabama, New Jersey, Connecticut, NU, Louisiana, South SC, California, Nashville, New York, Philippines, there's Philippines, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Chattanooga, Illinois. There we go. China. Well, hello, China. Atlanta, CO, Texas, Enron, New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, Interlaken, Florida, Michigan, Iowa, Pittsburgh, South Carolina, New Mexico, South Dakota, West Palm, Mini Virginia, Indiana. There we go. Massachusetts, Maine, Utah, PA, Houston, Missouri, Georgia, oh, there's David Ortiz. Chicago, Michigan, Harrisburg, PA. Oh, you got the rent program there. Mississippi, Brooklyn, Shillington, Big Apple, Orange County, Florida, California, Arkansas, Hilo, Hawaii, Lake Elsinore, Kansas, Texas, Davenport, wow, Tennessee, Huntington Beach, California, San Antonio, Texas. Emerald card is an H&R Block instrument. Okay. Washington, Lakewood, California, Houston. Got my check today. There we go. Kentucky, Long Island, Dallas, Washington State, Ethiopia. Well, hello. Thank you for joining me from Ethiopia. Ileana from Sedona. Wow, Providence. Tucson. Nancy's backyard, Cleveland. Sandra, thank you for the super chat. Puerto Rico. Belize. Wow, Belize, Puerto Rico. There we go. Tucson, Kentucky. Wow, we have a very international group tonight. San Bernardino, Texas, Missouri. There we go, Louisiana. My New Year's Eve was great. Thank you. Tempe TX. Can you give me an update on the Georgia Senate races? It's too close to call. You're not going to know the results on Tuesday night. It may take a couple of days. One of the polls showed both of the Democrats leading, but it was not an enormous lead. PA. I used to live in Dallas, Texas for 6 months. There we go. Oklahoma, Detroit, Vegas. There we go. Tennessee, Arizona. Well, we got a very international group. Puerto Rico, another one for Puerto Rico. Uh, Puerto Rico, we got Belize, and we have was it Kenya? I think it was Kenya. So we got people from a lot of different and just all over the place. Really great night. It's hard to tell when it's a smaller group. Imperial MO and Missouri. There we go. So let's go back to any more questions with 5 minutes to go in this video. Um, are we still, oh, that's not, TN Great Volunteer State. There you go. Uh, Peoria, Arizona. Is a DoorDasher essential? It is. All those type of drivers are essential workers. Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, yes. Make an announcement and remind people in Georgia to go vote in the Senate race. Okay, thank you. I will. Paris. Someone tuning in from Paris? Is that what I read on the screen? Colombia, Bogota, amor. Wow. From Colombia, Bogota. Wow. Was that really Mitch in that room earlier? No, of course not. Of course not. uh, can SSI apply? Wow, now the questions are flying. So DoorDash can apply for PPP or EIDL. DoorDash can apply for EIDL, absolutely. I think they can apply for PPP. I'll review that as well. Can SSI apply for rent this time around? Yes, you should. Two questions about SSI for rent. So yes, you should apply for the rent in this video that I'm covering in this video, and you should also apply for the rent that's going to be coming in second stimulus. So both of those things. Great question. Armenia. Wow. Hello from Armenia. Very international group tonight. If the Senate remains red, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Santa Cruz. I think that was the Colombian flag, if I recognize the flag. Hello from Hawaii. There you go. Do you think if Donald Trump would have sent the $2,000 sooner, he would have been voted in? Absolutely. I mean, the viewers of this channel were just dumbfounded come, September. Why don't you just do a stimulus check and get yourself elected? And he didn't deal with it. It was just so obvious. Just do a stimulus check. And, even then we knew a stimulus check was popular, but now we realize how popular a stimulus check is. Had he done a stimulus check, it was just an easy brainer. I don't know what he was thinking. He should have done an executive order. He should have done a lot of things. It was just so obvious. Texas already getting their stimulus. Congrats. And now as we come up, oh, Nigeria, King Reno from Nigeria. Wow, we have a lot of people in multiple continents tonight. This is just incredible. Wow, what a night this is. So thank you for joining me. The big updates as we hit the bottom of the hour, the 30-minute mark, is that this is purple, which goes over your state stimulus. I want you to reach out to the volunteers. They're at news.llate.com/community. They're in the pinned comment, the first comment to this video. You open up the pinned comments, the last line. They'll help you get that rent and utilities and food. I want you to get it because states, with the exception of California, New York, and maybe New Jersey, are not going to, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, are not going to be paying your unemployment benefits on time. And with not paying benefits on time, you're going to be in a financial bind in the next few weeks potentially. So I don't want you to sit around and just wait for something that's just not there. I want you to go get this free rent, free utilities, and free food. It's available for you. The volunteers are there available for you. Meantime, the $2,000 stimulus check is still in play, just not with the Cash Act. It will be a new bill coming in the next few weeks. I'll be detailing it tomorrow morning on Mornings Lalate. Meantime, join me at 1 a.m. for EIDL on Overnights LLA. It'll explain how to get an EIDL grant because it's going to be a big issue under Biden's stimulus. Then FPUC at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then I'm back at 3 a.m. with Early Mornings LA, and then 3:30 at Early Mornings LA continued. As always, stay informed, stay smiling. Thank you for a great evening. Have a great, beautiful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.